Good evening, guys. It is November 7th, 2022. On this video here, I want to talk about why vacuum cleaners should be considered a major purchase when you're looking at appliances. Because unfortunately, a lot of people just think of a vacuum cleaner as, oh, it's just a disposable appliance. It's no different than a toaster. It's no different than a food processor. It's no different than, getting just a little blender or a little food chopper or a little thing like that. People, there is so much to vacuum cleaners that is so important that it's not even funny. I mean, vacuum cleaners are no joke at all. I mean, you really need to take them seriously. And what I mean by that is you need to think of it as a long-term investment. I see too many people who, first of all, they think that if anything goes wrong with a vacuum cleaner, it's automatically broken and it can't be fixed. And we've become this disposable society, not just with vacuum cleaners, but with everything. But vacuum cleaners, unfortunately, I see this all too often. People will typically throw a vacuum cleaner away for various reasons, but the two most common that I see is a broken belt or a clog. And 99% of the time, that is all that's wrong with them. Now, I have personally yet to see a broken belt, but I have come across belts that are worn out and belts that are cracked and everything. But this is the other thing, is people will buy cheap vacuum cleaners, like, $50 or something, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not always a bad thing, but, I look at it from a long-term perspective. You want to make sure that you can get parts for them. You want to make sure that you know how to take care of them, and you want to make sure that you have access to parts. Now, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Let's just take an Oric, for example, right here. You've also got these sanitairs right here. These will last you forever if you take good care of them. But let's look at an Oric. Now, Orics have been around for a long time. They're very, very simple machines, and there's not a whole lot to go wrong with them, really. I'm gonna lay it down. Show you the bottom here. Now, you want either a wooden or metal brush roller. It's more durable and it will last longer. But you also want to maintain it by changing the belt once a year. I keep records of when I change belts. So, and on this machine, the belt is literally, you can access it from the side here, if you wanted to. I don't think that's the easiest way to change the belt, but it's a way. The other way is you can take this whole bottom plate off and do it that way. But also, a lot of people, and I don't know what it is with people. I don't know if it's consumer laziness or consumer ignorance, but people don't really understand just how simple a vacuum cleaner is. And don't get me wrong, there's some that are just way, way, way too complicated. In fact, there's quite a few of them out there that are. But really, all it is a fan, a motor, a fan, and a roller brush, and belts, and bags and filters. So I'm going to open this up. Now, you want to make sure that you keep an eye. Now, this is one thing that I will say. Bagged vacuum cleaners will generally last longer than bagless vacuum cleaners. All too often, what I see is people will buy a bagless vacuum cleaner thinking that they're going to save money. And I think the vacuum cleaner industry has become very, very deceitful in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying that all bagless vacuum cleaners are bad or that there's no purpose for them. But I think, first of all, it's not quite as obvious to people as because they think, oh, I just empty it out and then I have performance again. I mean, when you change this bag, it's like back to performance immediately. There is no other cleaning stuff out. There's no other weird stuff to do. It's just all right here, and you don't have to worry about it. And I don't use this vacuum cleaner a ton, but this bag has been in here since early September. It's only up to where my finger is, right here. That's how much is in there. You can fill this bag all the way, let's see if I can feel where it is, all the way up to about here. So, you have a ton of room. These bags are insane. They are huge. So, and then once the bag is full, you just throw it in the trash. With a bagless vacuum cleaner, you have to clean out the tank, clean out the filters, clean out stuff, and most people are not willing to do that. So people think they're saving all this money by not having to buy bags, but they end up throwing the flippin' thing away and not saving any money in the end. I'm sorry, but that just makes absolutely no sense to me. None whatsoever. If your intention is to save money, then you've got to maintain it. You've got to take care of it. You've got to keep it clean. If anything gets clogged, which I have seen vacuums get clogged so bad, I don't know how people do it. But this tube in here can get clogged. You can undo these nuts, pull off this tube, push, a lint brush or something through it and clean out any clogs that get stuck. Because honestly, I'm just trying to get my pet peeves out right now. People will buy a vacuum cleaner, and it doesn't even have to be a cheap vacuum cleaner. It can be an expensive vacuum cleaner. I have seen people who buy like $300, $400 Kenmores, Dysons, all these other machines that are like very expensive, and they throw them out just because they're clogged or something's going on. Now, one thing that you do want to check is a lot of people think, oh, well, it's not picking up anymore. Well, first of all, make sure it's not clogged. Make sure that the filters are changed and or cleaned, and change the bag. But also, if it's not picking up, check the belt. Make sure the belt is good and not stretched out. Or another case may be that the brush roller is worn out completely. I have seen brush rollers that literally are worn down to stubs. Like, that literally aren't doing anything. So, all the usual basic stuff. I mean, people say, well, I don't want something that I have to constantly maintain. My question to you is, when has anything ever lasted a long time that you haven't had to maintain? Really, I want to know that. When, okay, it is absolutely no different than a car. Don't you take your car in to get the oil changed, and to get the spark plugs changed, and the air filter changed, and your tires rotated, and you change your tires every few thousand miles and stuff? Yes. I mean, a lot of people would say, well, yeah, of course you would do that. Why wouldn't you? Well, it's the exact same thing with a vacuum cleaner. It's the exact same thing with anything you own. It requires maintenance. It's a machine. The vacuum cleaner gets used so incredibly hard in most cases, and people literally abuse vacuum cleaners to no end, and they do not take the time to maintain it. And then I hear complaints of like, oh, well, it's not picking up. It doesn't pick up very well. Okay, well, have you checked all of the things that you should? You know? Have you made sure that everything is cleaned out? Now, I'm not saying that you have to clean stuff out all the time, but what I am saying is you need to make sure that it's maintained. I have literally... This is so sad, and this just goes to show how incredibly disposable our society is. But I have literally seen Kirby vacuum cleaners in the trash online from other people on YouTube that do this kind of stuff like I do. trying to get in a position here where I can show you. Literally, it makes no logical sense to me. Why would you spend almost $2,000 on a machine only to throw it away? I mean, really. And even if you don't do it yourself, there's people that can help you do it. Literally. Like, you know, and this is the other thing. I've seen way too many vacuum cleaners just full of hair. I've seen it both with things such as Bissell's all the way up to Kirby's. I've seen it all. But I have seen where literally the entire brush is so incredibly full of hair and has probably not been cleaned out in 10 years. And they wonder why they're snapping belts. And I've even heard people say, oh, well, cleaning off the hair is not all that necessary because it'll get cleaned out. Well, all I gotta say about that is, yeah, you've gotta clean off that hair because that will eventually get its way into your bearings and destroy your brush roll. Yes, it will. And that's why you need a machine that you can easily get access to the brush roll. Like this one, where you've got these two latches and you pop off the bottom plate. So simple. But this disposable society that we're living in drives me nuts. Now, that's one of the reasons why I recommend buying a good machine in the first place. Whether it's a Kirby, a Sanitaire, an Auric, an Electrolux, you know, heck, even like a decent bagged Hoover or something. You know, you want something. Here's my thing. On a vacuum cleaner that is a basic, mediocre vacuum cleaner, I expect, in fact, I demand 10 years of service out of that machine. And you can most likely get that out of most machines that are designed to be serviced and repaired. You know, I've heard of people say, well, I don't want to buy bags, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Why would I pay for bags? Let me ask you this. Why would you pay for a vacuum cleaner every year, 2 years, 3 years? That gets expensive. The price of a new vacuum every few years does not even come close to outweighing the cost of bags and parts. Not even remotely close. So that is like an excuse that I don't understand. I really don't. And when you buy a high-end vacuum cleaner, it doesn't even have to be a Kirby. I mean, just get the whole Kirby thing out of your head. I'm trying to give an example because this is arguably one of the most expensive vacuum cleaners on the market. And I mean, you're wasting money when you don't understand the basics of vacuum cleaner maintenance and service. I mean, and the other thing with the bags, on this machine and this Oric here, as well as that sanitaire over there, all of them, all three of these, one bag will last me 6 months. 6 months. And that's with 4 people and no pets right now. And even before my dog passed away, which she passed away like a couple months ago, even when we had her, just a small beagle, I still got 6 months out of a bag on these. Easy. So, and the bags are probably like $2 a bag. Maybe even less, like $1.25. I don't understand the thinking behind all that. Now, how many people will go out and spend a couple dollars on a bottle of water? Or how many people buy kitchen trash bags for your trash can in your kitchen? You know, these are just things that I mean, it is no different. And to be quite honest, their bagged vacuum cleaners have easily outlasted bagless vacuum cleaners multiple times. And because honestly, like, that's part of the problem is people can't figure out, like, they have no idea where the filters are in bagless vacuum cleaners. They have no idea how to maintain them. They have no idea how to clean them out. They have no clue. And just take a few moments to try and figure out, like, okay, what's wrong? Is something clogged? Is something blocked up? Is something full? Does something need to be cleaned out? People, please use your brains. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just kind of frustrated because I've seen it way too many times. And this stuff is so incredibly simple. And you'd be surprised at how many things we throw away, not even vacuum cleaners, but other things that there may be something wrong, but it's such a simple fix that it is so incredibly easy. Sometimes it doesn't even cost any money. Sometimes you don't even need a part. You know, like a clogged vacuum cleaner. Like 99% of the time, when I find vacuum cleaners that are clogged, all it takes is me pushing something through that hose to unclog it. I don't even have to spend any money on any belts, any bags, nothing. So it just makes sense. And that's also why I advocate getting a vacuum cleaner that is simple. Because if and when things do happen like that, it's easy to understand and there's not a whole lot to it. You know? So I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I'm just amazed at how much money people waste with this stuff. And you know, like I said, yes, there is a point in time where a vacuum cleaner is totally worn out and stuff. But I can tell you, if you buy a really good vacuum cleaner, and like I said, I'm talking about the good ones like Oric, Kirby, Sanitaire, Sibo, Riccar, Electrolux, all those good ones out there. Do you know that those vacuum cleaners can easily last you 30 years, 40 years, 50 years if you properly maintain them? Yeah, it is very possible, guys. It is absolutely possible. But a lot of people don't think about it that way. A lot of people just think about it as, oh, it's just like all the other cleaning supplies and stuff in your house. No, it's not. The vacuum cleaner is way, way, way beyond all the other cleaning appliances in your house. Just think about everything you rely on your vacuum cleaner for it. And I'm trying to make this video also because I think in these times that we're living in right now, with the way our economy is, we need to be smart with our finances. We need to be smart with where our money is going. And being smart with your finances doesn't mean necessarily going cheap, unless that's all you can afford. But it also means looking at things from the long-term perspective. Because yes, these Kirby's, like I bought another Kirby. This is my second Kirby here. But I bought my first Kirby used for $100 total 5 years ago. Do you know I have barely put anything into that machine at all? All I've put into it are a couple new belts, bags obviously, and a new brush roll once. And that is it. And I have never had even the slightest issue. And that machine is 20 years old right now. And it's still going. Still going perfectly. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. You should be able to get a long life out of a vacuum cleaner. It shouldn't be a disposable appliance. Like I said, it's the same with these Oryx and sanitaires. Now this Oryx right here is 11 years old, 12 years old. I bought it used 3 years ago. Never has given me any problems whatsoever. You would be amazed at just how simple a vacuum cleaner can be and how long it can last. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about that, kind of get that off my chest. Yeah. Just be smart when you're buying vacuum cleaners. And whatever vacuum cleaner that you happen to have right now, do what you can to make it last. Take care of it. Keep it clean. Keep it maintained. Replace filters and bags when they need to be replaced. Replace belts at least once a year. You know, all the simple things. It's really simple. And replacing a belt is no more than $5. Usually it's less than that if you do it yourself. Like I said, I can get 6 months out of a bag on most of my machines. 6 months. So that means I go through one bag every 6 months. That means I go through 2 bags a year. It really is that simple, guys. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.